is our basic code for the sine wave for the Flappy Flyer. 4 blocks, that's it. And the main parts of this are the change attributes at the top. We're basically locking in the Y position of the actor whenever it first comes in. Then down here we're going to lock in the X position. So we're saying the position X, we're locking it into an attribute that I created. You can call it, initial Y, initial X, whatever you want as usual. But this is where we're going to save that position from where we started. Now the fun part comes in right here. Okay? And what we're doing is we are creating, using cosine, sine, or tangent. It doesn't really matter. We're creating an angle for the character to move at. Okay? So if you use sine, cosine, or tangent, all of them look to find an angle, right? We're just not looking at a triangle, so we don't have to be concerned with which one we're using. We can use any of them. Okay? So if you look at this equation, which I'll have up on the board later on for you guys to look at, you'll notice here we're looking at 5 times sine, so that's the 5 is where we can control the height of the wave going up and down. Also the 4 here. Now when you type in and try and get sine or cosine or anything like that, it's going to have inside parentheses angle. Okay, so basically we're creating the angle right here. And we're increasing the angle by 5. So you can really see it. If you do it by 1, the waveform is going to be really tiny. Okay? So we're starting here, we're getting our X position from where we started. We also have the X lock, and then as it starts traveling, this will cause the waveform to appear. Okay? So there's that portion. And then we also have the X portion, which pushes it along. We're incrementing the X position with time. Okay? So in the past, we've incremented health and things like that by saying, all right, every second that this happens, or every time that this happens, add +1 to this attribute. Okay? Instead, we're just using time here. We're multiplying it by 100. And this is more going to be your speed and direction of where this goes. So if I wanted to set this for 300 and wanted to make it go backwards instead, I just put a negative in there. And then we'll add that to self xlock, which is the attribute that we've created to save the initial spot where it came in on the X and Y coordinate. Okay? So let's see what this looks like. See, that's kind of the Flappy Flyer version I'm looking for. I want it to kind of bounce up and down. Okay? And then if you wanted to make it go backwards, because we want to make it go back and forth, we just go in here, add a negative to this 300 on the X line. Pretty easy to keep track of, and it goes back the other way. Okay? So pretty easy, and then if you want to play with some things in here, if you slow this down quite a bit, it'll affect the wave itself. So if I shrink this down to 100, I'll just leave the top one alone, you'll see it get a lot bigger in the waveform. It has a lot slower time to move through, so it's not changing its X position as fast. So the waveform ends up being a lot taller. Okay? And you can definitely change things in here if you want to. If I change this to like this, the 4 is going to give you some smaller changes. So if I change this to 10, and I'll leave it at 11 so you can kind of see it. See, now we're moving at about the same rate, but we're making the waveform go a lot faster. Okay? So if you just play with those values in there, you'll get the look that you want for the Flappy Flyer. My personal setup for this is 300 here, and what I found works really well for me is about a 4 right here that we're multiplying the angle by, and that would look about like this. Okay? Alright, so that's the Flappy Flyer. You just have to add in all the other attributes and behaviors for that character, and this will give you your basic movement. Okay? Thanks for paying attention. Love all you guys. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay. I see you, but I'm not gonna pay attention.